This is Kazway Kashiopia. You are listening to 108live.radio. Hi there, welcome to 108live.radio. This is Kazway Kashiopia. I'm a tarot card reader, artist, creator, and publisher of tarot. I'm also a psychologist and energy healer. I have my own practice in Johannesburg, South Africa as a life coach. I'd like to welcome you to my show, Interactive Tarot. The show is not only about tarot cards, although bits and pieces of tarot-related topics will be covered. Along with carrying out live tarot readings, it is just simply full of insights of a way of life, philosophy, science, and spirituality, most of the time involving guests who are in the field of health, wellness, and or spirituality. If you have any question or suggestion, please contact me by emailing to mail@kashiopia.com. Kashiopia is spelled Kashiopia. You can also check out my website, www.kashiopia.com. Interactive Tarot is aired every Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. live here on 108live.radio. Stay tuned in. So we got two guests, of course, as usual. One is our weekly guest, Siobhan. Hi, Siobhan.
Hello, Kazway. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Welcome to our show, Interactive Tarot on 108live.radio. Okay, Siobhan is, can I say psychic medium?
Sure, yes.
Okay, yeah, she actually can communicate with...
I can communicate with those who have passed, and I kind of just have a bunch of knowledge that's passed on to me from the spiritual realm.
So it gets downloaded, right?
Yes.
Cool. And the other guest is, of course, Atma, the producer of 108live.radio. Hi, Atma.
Hello, part of the furniture as usual.
Oh, and he's also just walking around working on all the technical stuff and helping us. I usually start my show talking about some aspects of tarot cards. Yeah. And today I thought I will discuss how spirits are depicted in tarot cards. Well, especially in my deck. There is major arcana and minor arcana, right?
Yeah.
And major arcana actually has two specific spirits, up spirit, then the down spirit type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's all related to Kabbalah.
Okay.
And these two spirits are the spirits that gives power to major arcana.
Mm-hmm.
And minor arcana doesn't really have that kind of a spirit, but they are actually associated. They can be associated with what's called goetic demons.
Okay.
And demons are not what society thinks it's demons. They are not bad entity.
Yeah.
It's just they are spiritual figures that were labeled by newer religions.
I suppose it represents all of the when I say darker, it represents all of the sadder or
and
angry.
It's more, I guess, let's say in Japan, Shintoism is our national religion. And in Shintoism there isn't an idea of a god, so to speak, although we say there are many spirits. They say that there are 8 million spirits in Japan, and it just means there are many spirits, and the spirits are everywhere and in anything. And from the perspective of religions, I guess, that consider God to be the ultimate let's say, good,
Yeah.
then any other spirits can be considered to be demonic figures.
Makes sense.
But it doesn't mean that they are demons.
Yeah.
They're just entities or a concept or frequency that have been,
Misunderstood. Maybe.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, and those spirits are like not those, part of entities like that
Yeah.
are associated with the minor arcana.
Okay.
And there are like 72 goetic demons. Again, they're not necessarily demons as Christians would think.
Yes.
There are 72 demons, and also that corresponds to 72 angels in a Kabbalistic way. And 72 angels, there isn't clear indication of the association between tarot, but in my tarot deck, the sigils of goetic demons are depicted. So yeah, I believe they also give power to tarot cards as well.
Look, I mean, the way that I view it is that you have your angels and your demons, but the demons are represented in different
it's
emotions.
Not, yeah,
I guess.
exactly. And it's not about evil.
Yeah.
It's not about good or evil. It's not about a judgment. It's just there are polarities to anything and everything.
Exactly.
So, and additionally to tarot cards, there are also spirits of like planetary deities and also zodiac. I don't know if they are deities or not, but zodiac spirits.
Okay.
And also elements. So those are the kind of spirits that are associated with the tarot cards. So yeah, and I wanted to ask, how would you define spirit?
That is quite a big question.
I know, but I was actually talking to someone, and I thought, well, it's easy to say spirit,
Yeah.
but really, what does that mean?
I think it means the energy that's left behind. Also, it's not necessarily people who've died. It's also pieces of people. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone has their own energies that follow us around, and sometimes what happens during life is that pieces of ourselves break off and creates an energetic being, as to the, so to say. I know I'm using inverted commas, but but we are we're much bigger than our human selves.
Human body is just concentrated, really condensed form of energy.
Exactly. And I do believe that energy escapes a lot of the time through
Yeah.
traumatic experiences or through happy experiences, etc., etc. As well as the dead, obviously, they leave behind an energetic force, which I don't know how to. It's basically just energy that leaves.
Yes.
There are a lot of different kinds. There are spirits that are slightly more powerful than others that can do different things that are very interesting to experience. It's difficult to explain without anyone being able to experience it.
Yeah. Well, I was the kind who has, since I was a child, I experienced things that weren't really explained, that couldn't be explained by modern science.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I was so afraid of it. So I actually turned to science.
Yeah, a lot of people do have this. A lot of people do have this specific gift, if so to say, but a lot of the time they're too afraid to use it.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, a lot of the time it's a very scary thing to have to go through, especially when you're being taken on a journey that you have no idea what any of that feels like.
Yeah.
You are suddenly pulled into a different realm.
Yeah, I've been there quite a few times. So, but nowadays, as I'm an adult, I understand and feel that Well, human science isn't everything. Absolutely not. There is a far beyond. And as you say, spirits, whether it's like part of humans or part of human psyche that separated from us, or were left behind, or even influential power of zodiac planets, and what we call, what Japanese call 8 billion spirits.
Yeah.
They're all energy. At the end of the day, as you say, it's all energy.
It's all energy. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all been left behind. It's almost like a plane. So for me, the way that I see it, a lot of people see heaven as, or the view of heaven as above us, but I see it as on the same level as us.
As the same plane, but in a different dimension.
Exactly.
And also different, well, I guess dimension is the only way that I can really describe it.
Yeah.
That our human eyes can't pick up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because of our eyes, and our eyes are tuned into the dimension that we are in.
Yes.
And I was wondering, so when you see, how do you see?
It's also quite odd to explain, but I don't see, like physically see in this realm, if you would like, or this dimension. But what happens is that it almost comes as a thought. It almost comes as a movie that plays back in my imagination. And sometimes it does have physical,
sensation within.
physical sensations. Like you get like goosebumps, or you sometimes feel like you can't breathe, or all of that kind of stuff. But it's basically just it's odd to explain, because I see something in my brain and I tell someone about it and they're like, oh my gosh.
I have to tell the listeners that I actually have gotten a reading done by Siobhan, and she did pick up on my grandmother who passed away, and you had no idea. No, it was the first time. Yes, the first time, even before we booked a reading, that you actually said, grandmother.
Yeah.
And she had been only I think it was 4 months after she passed away.
Yeah.
So
she needed to get in there.
So it was just so random. And the first time, we had never talked to each other. We never had met each other until then.
Yeah.
And she just you just picked up that I see, I think, grandmother.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she passed away 4 months ago, and there was also somebody else who has said, well, your grandmother is sending message to you.
Yeah.
So it was like, you're not the first person, but it was just a validation.
Yes.
That what you were seeing really resonated with me, and that reading you did for me was also amazing.
Well, I'm really glad it helped.
Yeah. So I guess it's like, if I say, well, like to the listeners, think of an apple. And people can usually imagine an apple, right?
Yeah.
They can see that in their mind's eye. They don't have to have an apple right in front of them, but they can see an apple.
Exactly.
And it's that kind of seeing.
Yes.
It's like what you see. It doesn't appear as physical.
No.
Not depicted in a manga and animation and movies.
No.
It's not like a Harry Potter. But
it's very imaginative. It's at first I was like, I don't believe this. This is just my imagination. And then,
how old were you when?
So I've always been a little bit in tune with different kinds of things, but I never really paid attention. And then about 3 years ago, it started picking up quite intensely. I've always used. My grandmother and aunt, all of them, they've passed away, but I could always smell them.
Oh wow, okay.
It's not a smell that I can describe. Like, it's not apples or oranges. It's a specific smell.
Okay. I have heard that spirits can like they can be voice, they can be vision, they can be smell, you know, like whether they are physical or not, it doesn't really matter. But that's what I guess the brain really process
exactly.
the particular energy to be.
Yeah, the smell is only with people I know. With other people, it's imagination. But it happened about 3 years ago where it started hitting quite hard.
Something that you couldn't like ignore anymore.
No, it was kind of just, this is it. You're gonna have to make a decision on whether you want to choose this life or not.
Yeah.
And I think I made the right decision.
Cool.
But it can get very draining. It can get very, but it is the most incredible gift that I can help other people with.
Yeah, and you know, skills can only be developed with the intention of helping others, with the intention of contribution.
Exactly.
We can't keep it to ourselves.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
It's very important to help others, I believe anyway. So,
Yeah, and also not to have helpless syndrome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are people out there who just want to help people so that they can feel better about themselves, or they want to be considered to be a good person, therefore they want to help others. You know, not with that kind of intention, but what you love doing, what you naturally can do, can end up helping people. I think helping people is not the end.
No.
But if it's just I don't know,
I think it's I don't know, the gift that I do have, although I have myself been struggling with it in terms of my own issues, and then also trying to help people to like the helper syndrome. So I do try and not help people when I'm physically or emotionally stressed, because then it doesn't. It doesn't feel right, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do. It's like sometimes it can come from a place of ego that I have to make myself feel better,
Exactly.
therefore I got to help people.
Yeah. So you try not to do that, but it's also really hard because a lot of the time they come forward and they have messages and you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to do what you have to do. So a lot of the time it's a balance between my own personal stuff as well as helping others. So.
And also, you know, not that I get challenged, but I think there are people out there who consider that healers, psychics, even psychologists, you know, those who are in the field of helping others, don't have it or shouldn't even have issues in life. And that's far from the truth.
That's
it's we have to be challenged. We have to understand and experience pain of life so that we can actually come from a place of empathy.
Yes, exactly. And we are. I was thinking, I spoke to someone the other day who said that we need to have the human experience.
Human experience, yes.
And even as spiritual beings, we need to be able to experience what we need to experience to move on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, we all have lessons to learn. We all need to...
Yes, and we do. And a challenge for, say, healers is that we must not stay in the place of a pain.
Yeah.
We have to conquer that and turn pain into understanding and compassion.
Yeah.
And without doing it, we can't.
Yeah, it's impossible. And I mean, I'm also an empath, so I do feel other people's emotions. So a lot of the time I'm sitting there with anger that I have no idea where it comes from, or stress that I have no idea where it comes from.
And you're just absorbing it, and then
you have to learn how to let it go.
Let it go and control what comes through to you,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a mess. Otherwise, you just...
I can imagine.
Yeah.
You know, I know a few kids who are aware that they are empath.
Yeah.
And they can have a real difficult time that they don't know if they are feeling what they are feeling or if it's somebody else's, and it can end up well, they can end up having headaches and.
It's very stressful. It is very stressful. I do remember, as a teenager, the empathy came much quicker than my gift. So as a teenager, I would sit there and I have no idea what I'm feeling because A, I'm a teenager, so it's all over the place. And B, I'm like, I don't even know how to deal with this. So let me just and it was quite hard. It was quite a hard teenage life, I guess, because I was feeling my emotions as well as everybody else's.
And teenagers still young. I mean, like a human experience is young.
Yeah.
That they are already confused, if you know what I mean, and they want to believe that they already know the world.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, been there. Like when I was 16, I left my home country, went to the States basically on my own, and I thought, but I'm old enough.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, would I do that if I had a child, like to a 16-year-old daughter or son? Like, no, you can't leave. You're only 16.
Yeah.
But I thought I could take on the world back then.
Oh, 100%.
So so it's like they have full sense of understanding of themselves and the world, but then they actually don't. So what they feel is what they feel, and
frustration, and then top it all off with everyone else's emotions.
But don't you feel that there are more kids who are empathic than
It's amazing.
That's
I can't believe how much.
Increasing.
Yeah, it is increasing quite dramatically, actually.
Yeah.
Most of the children that I know are empathetic.
And also, like kinds will attract each other. So I'm sure it's like you would resonate,
Yeah.
But I think there are more empathic children nowadays than like when I was a child.
Yeah, it is incredible. But I also do believe that it's the times as well. We're becoming more aware.
More aware.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
I encounter so many people who are in tune with the spirituality and aware that a physical being is not it in this life. There's so many people who are around me or encountering more and more.
Yeah, exactly. Who are more open. But I do believe that it's because we are more open as a society. We're open to different kinds of understandings and beliefs, which is, incredible.
Yeah. So, Atma, you have been quiet?
Yes, as I was just listening, and like how you were saying that there's sort of like an energy, sort of like residual energy around people. In the Vedic tradition, it's explained that you here right now are made up of your physical body, which is like be it a human form or animal, whatever. And then after that you have the subtle body, which is made up of mind, intelligence, false ego, and or ego, and ultimately the person themselves, the soul. So the false ego is the connection between the subtle body and the material body, and that I am this body.
Yeah.
I have everything to do with what's going on here. Even though, yes, karmically speaking, you do on the plane of exchanging energy and work and everything else that comes along with that. But overcoming false ego and understanding that you're not the body, you're the soul, is the work that needs to be done. So that's the journey.
Yeah.
And then after that, let's say when you die or when you leave your body, or what is known as it's another part of reincarnation. We are reincarnating. After every 7 years, not even a cell in the body is the same.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So so we're time travelers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after overcoming the false ego and understanding that you're not the body, in the process that is the science of self-realization, then overcoming the subtle body. So the subtle body is almost also like a vehicle that carries you to the next form.
Okay.
Depending on your work,
Yeah,
your debt. So when you leave, you have your subtle body and your bank balance. And you could float around for a while.
Yeah.
That form is usually described as Bhuta, which loosely translates to ghost. But as with many other words, English falls short in explaining.
Yes.
So yeah. So you could linger or you could move on automatically. For example, there are cases that have been documented of kids who were born into other families who were already like old souls. They knew everything. They can already speak and whatever. And the child is telling you, yeah, I used to live down the street. I was born to this so, and this guy, this child is like describing the house, everything and all that, the people that live in the house, and then they actually took this child to this house. And she was, this is my favorite chair, all this stuff.
Sure.
She's talking to all these people.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, actually, like you're saying, like how there are other kids out there who have certain gifts or certain abilities, and because the world that we live in is largely based on the gross aspect or the material aspect of things, tangible aspect of things. When children are like that, people think that they're crazy or. Then they diagnose you with ADHD and then pump you full of drugs.
Yes.
Then you become like, ooh, a consumer. We found ourselves a consumer. Somebody to, So, like you're saying, people are slowly opening up to the reality of the subtleties that are part of our reality, which is very important because in the incompleteness of the exploring the experience that is what we'd say our reality now, you have to consider all sides.
Yes.
Yes, you do have people who are mentally ill, but it's not that because somebody says I can feel this or that and this, they're crazy.
Yeah.
There are ways to determine that, like how you have a mentor.
I don't.
You don't. Some people have mentors
Yeah.
in that era, and you have a mentor.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So there are certain structures or traditions that are there to assist and guide.
Yes.
So yeah, just like I've been reading Montessori recently, and she goes on about how children are the actual teachers, and they're born with what she'd say powers.
Yeah.
For example, she gives the example of language, how children automatically pick up language and they without much effort. And for an adult, it will take you 60 plus years, if not
exactly.
more, to master a language, if not the language that you were born into. So she's describing how I broke it down. Like I said, the subtle body carries residual energy from past lives. So and debt.
Yeah. I do believe that we learn lessons as we carry on, and a part of the personality that doesn't need to be taken with us to the next life stays behind, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the example, I need to learn how to let things go, and if I learn that in my lifetime, the part of my personality where I have to learn these lessons, so the stubbornness in me might be let go because I've learned that lesson, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Like
it does.
I've heard like a lot of people saying, no, they just have unfinished work. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the time they do have unfinished work, but a lot of the time it's a piece of themselves that has stayed behind, that worry about certain things that they've left behind, like grandchildren. Or
like I heard, like if you were too attached to your house, you may come back as a roach or a rat and then
stay there.
Yeah, depending on how attached you are, your subtle body will carry you. If you're attached to your daughter, you may even end up having a female body in your next life, a male body in your next life. But the karmic equation is so complex.
It's way
so
too
complex.
hard.
I mean, like that is beyond human
understanding.
Yeah, I think so.
Completely.
It's so
Yeah.
if you can imagine like layers and layers and layers and
Yeah.
layers and layers of lives upon lives upon life upon lifetimes and
Yeah.
lifetimes and
Yeah,
exchanges.
and we're talking
incredible.
about
Yeah.
like, well, you know, soul is as old as like, well,
Time. As
the
old-
time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like, when we started considering like human life, we can't go beyond written history of the, you know, modern days, which is like, what, like 5,000, 7,000 at the most, you know, and that's what we think of a human life is. But
It's actually much further than that.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't have a written history.
Yeah.
But like our life, our soul itself is like not billion. You know what I mean? Like, well, maybe back then it didn't have human consciousness, but like, how does it involve with the other life forms? And you know, like, it's just beyond human understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually explained that the human form of life is the form of life that awards you a developed state of consciousness to access the reality that is beyond the physical.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So and that the human form of life is a very rare form.
I believe
it's rare
so.
to
Yeah.
So when you receive it, do not squander.
Sure.
And squandering it basically means being more into the physicality of the matter.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I do think that it's all about lesson. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all about contract.
Yeah.
If you need to be more into the physical to learn a lesson that physicality actually isn't.
To and the lesson is a painful one.
Yes,
That's the other
it
thing,
is
yeah.
very painful, but most
without-
lessons are.
Yeah, without examination, students are gonna study.
Yeah,
We gotta be tested
yeah,
in order
exactly.
to, you know, study. So, not to change the subject, but I would like to, well, if you don't mind sharing, like any interesting reading experience that you have had with your clients. I mean, like you can talk about me. I don't mind, of course, without pointing out, like mentioning
Who's
name.
who?
Yeah, but only if you have any like if there was any case where you did some kind of reading, then you are able to help the person, or like do you have can you think of anything?
Not particularly. Look, I mean, to be honest, I work in the film industry as well, so I do.
Oh yes.
So I do.
Yeah.
I do tend to not work as much as I can on the spiritual stuff, which is unfortunate. But I do think I'm moving into a more spiritual role, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
But there's not many. I mean, I've had information given to me that I've been able to pass on, but I'm not sure if that's helped people, if that makes sense.
Well, I can tell you that you have helped me, so
I'm really appreciative of that.
Yeah.
I think that you just I think that it's incredible to be validated
well,
for the gift that you have.
it's true. I mean, like even as a tarot reader, so it helps. It doesn't necessarily stroke ego. It's just like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
glad.
not crazy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, like the reading you did.
Yeah.
You know, like started from a random mentioning of your grandmother is standing behind you, like she looks worried.
Yeah.
To like
Full
like
reading.
a full
yeah.
reading. Yeah, it definitely helped.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think at one point I thought my grandmother was almost like upset at me or something. But you know, I'm working on myself. As much as I'm a healer, I do have to, you know, face human experience.
Exactly.
So, you know,
Exactly.
and my only duty is not to give in to pain.
Yeah.
So I gotta welcome it all and
As much as you can.
yeah. So, you know, I'm still learning.
Mm.
And there are things to learn on daily basis. But it does help to have other people who who shows me the mirror. You know, like the reading you did for me about my grandmother was mirror, because I can't see. Nobody can see ourselves. We need other people to look at ourselves, and we will never be able to see ourselves in a true sense. You know, even mirror can't reflect how we really look like.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have an outsider's perspective.
Absolutely. So that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been readings, but I would prefer not to.
Yeah, I can
divulge
imagine.
too much.
Yes, that I totally respect.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes do readings on yourself? Like, can that work?
No. I mean, sometimes I get information for myself, but a lot of the time it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just knowledge that I have. So Kazway asked me to come today, and without a doubt I said yes. Like, there wasn't even like a maybe, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's almost like you almost immediately have the answer, which is nice.
Yeah.
But also with your human ego as well, you're like, but maybe I shouldn't. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have your own as a human, but your higher spiritual self knows the answers, if that makes sense.
Would you say that it's almost like intuition?
100%.
Oh, it got to be. It is intuition.
Yeah.
I mean, like if thoughts, the thoughts are distraction.
Yeah.
If you start thinking,
Yeah.
it can.
Yeah,
It can be
it's
wrong
the
because
worst.
thoughts are created.
Yeah.
It's actually actually lower.
Stop computing and just.
It basically, it's the first answer that pops into your brain.
Yeah,
Essentially,
that's
so
the
it is
intuition.
intuition. But if you start thinking about it, there's going to be a million reasons not to do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. I actually have gotten a mentor, and she holds mediumship course, and I'm going to that. It's a half-year course that I've been going to. And
is this part of this retreat you were talking about?
Kind of. Well, Shannon is my mentor. You know, Shannon has been my guest here as well.
Okay.
And what she did for me was not to what she did was allowed me to acknowledge the gift that I have, which I wasn't sure of, what it was. Like, is that my ego? Is that my thought? Or am I just going crazy? You know, like she guided me to be sure of what is intuition and what is thought, and differentiate and trust what is my intuition is. You know, as much as it's easy to say like it's all about intuition, sometimes like some people like myself, I needed somebody to tell me, yes, that is intuition, that is just a thought. And also like I had to learn like what it means to see or not to see. You know, she was able to explain to me that like I'm looking at the logo of 108 Live Radio, and that's through physical eyes, and you don't necessarily see it like that. It's just a movie playing, or like an image being projected in the brain. You know, that's why I said about think of an apple. That's how we see, and you know, like those kind of things that I needed a teacher.
I like how you're like talking about perceiving your immediate surroundings through your senses. So explain that our senses are imperfect. Imperfect in that you can't perceive the subtle aspects of our reality. Was to speak of perceiving the supreme reality.
I do think that that's also part of the gift as well, though, is being able to pick up on the subtle. Yeah,
on the subtle. So I was also wondering, like, so with intuition, it's like some people say, yeah, you know, it's intuitive, but you know, I'm just thinking how difficult it is. It's so simple, but again, at the same time, it's quite difficult. Some people let's say for example in making music or in writing, that's where I channel my expression or whatever. So there's certain things that just come naturally. So people will say that that's intuitive. It's intuition. Yeah. And then there's certain things that you have to really struggle with. Right? So is it that you can train yourself to be intuitive?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
It's about listening to inner voice, essentially.
So you just have to shut up and listen.
Look, I mean, yes, you need to learn how to be able to speak to your higher self and understand that everything has its reason, everything has its, I mean, some people are born with intuition.
and they actually born with the understanding that they are born with it.
Yeah.
Some people don't have understanding that they have it.
Yeah. But it's a completely natural, like, if you look at our ancestors or back in the day, it was our instinct to run away when we heard a loud noise, or to kill the boar because we needed to eat. Do you know what I'm saying? Not the boar, sorry, the boar.
Yes.
Because we needed to eat. So it's always been inside of us. I think because life has become easier, it's been easier to let it go.
And also, we have gotten language. Humans have a language. So it makes it a bit more tangible to understand the world. We don't have to rely on intuition only or instinct only, which, most animals have to, because they don't have as tangible way of communication. But humans, and that's where language can become deceitful. Because
people understand things in different ways completely.
And we can say things that we don't mean.
Exactly. And that comes from all of our human limitations. And all of the stuff that we need to, not that we need to actually, I guess we need to live the way we need to live and learn the lessons that we need to learn. But also understand that you do have a spiritual being, and you do have a much higher self that understands.
I think it is actually a gift in itself to have a human limitation, so that we can actually understand what it feels like to overcome it.
That makes sense. I mean, that's actually, it's quite interesting.
Because it's probably easier to stick to the world of money orientated, language orientated, like that. Just stick to that tangible world. Might be just easy. It's
much easier.
Probably much easier. Makes it simple.
But I guess so. But I think we all need to learn how to, because we're moving in that direction. We're moving to a more spiritual.
The whole earth is actually moving to that direction, I feel.
Exactly. Exactly. So we need to, I think, as humans, we also need to understand that there's so much more than just this tangible, this tiny little,
like shell.
Yeah.
That we feel safe in.
But at the same time, like I said earlier, we do need to have the human experience, because without that, we won't understand what it's like to hurt or to be in pain.
That's been like the ongoing point.
It has to be.
Like most spiritualists come into contact with whatever spiritual practice, and then they disqualify the human experience for some reason as a low thing. But then how do you expect to be spiritual if you disqualify the actual platform that's awarding you the chance to be spiritual?
Exactly. Like some time ago, I don't exactly know when, but there has been tendency of dismissing the importance of money in the world, that money and spirituality don't go together. And there are still some so-called spiritual people who would dismiss the idea of money and say, well, if I started taking money, then I'm not going to be spiritual anymore, or I won't practice,
It has its place.
It has, and it's all about energy exchange. And as our physical self including, all the material things, that's just only condensed form of energy. It doesn't mean it's low. Like hierarchically, I can't pronounce that word. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yes, Okay, there we go.
Hierarchical.
Yes, exactly. That's the word. Most condensed formed is at the lowest, but it doesn't mean it must be dismissed. It must not be dismissed. The importance is that we embrace physicalness, materialism, and spirituality all at the same time. It's about
balance.
yin and yang and a balance, exactly.
Reciprocity, actually.
Yeah. So, just to focus on money, it's sad. But at the same time, dismissing money,
It's not exactly the way forward.
That's not spiritual
I checked
either.
out this video the other day. It's like all these artists who've won a Grammy or something like that. And they're talking about that, like as artists, some artists are like, you sell out or something like that, right? So one of the artists is like, there's a joke, something about the pursuit of happiness. Money is not important, but it does pay for that pursuit.
Well, actually, and also, but think about it. Without money, we humans can't even maintain our dignity. I promise you.
Yeah, I do agree to an extent. Unfortunately, I don't know. For me, I don't charge for my spiritual stuff, just because I'm very lucky. I'm lucky enough to have work.
Yeah,
and I can do this.
What do you do?
She's in the film industry.
Yeah, I work as an
movies
editor
and
and a post-production.
Okay, can I
Junior
be like an
assistant.
extra? I'll be the guy at the back sipping coffee.
He's also in obviously doing radio and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys have definitely something in common.
Yeah, definitely.
I usually do a reading for guests.
Perfect.
And I usually just have a guest draw one card.
Okay.
Okay, so let's have you draw one card. Okay, let's see. Oh, beautiful card. Oh my gosh, that's just perfect for you. It's Queen of Cups, water. And it is actually about reflection.
Sure, it's a beautiful card, eh?
You reflect, I'm reading this card as confirmation of what your gift is a gift that you must embrace and use because she's reflecting herself on the mirror, and so she reflects the other person, and everyone loves her because they are all looking at themselves, and because they resonate with her so much, they think she is that, but they are actually seeing themselves. And she is a transformer. She takes in and she takes what she takes in to a higher level, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So that's just a sign that what you're doing, or that your gift was definitely meant to be.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect card to draw.
Yeah, thank you so much for the validation.
Cool. So how can we contact you?
I go by email or phone.
Okay.
I think on your website, or you've given my phone number and my email address.
Yeah. We can also share here.
Oh, okay. Well, my number is 072-534-4563. And I'm Siobhan at Gonzo, SIOBHAN @GONZOE.co.za.
Cool. And the information will be available also on Facebook and YouTube that I'll be creating.
Perfect.
And on the 108 Live Instagram page and Facebook page.
Yes.
That's at 108live.radio on Facebook and 108 Live on Instagram.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, we've still got a few more minutes.
Perfect.
Let's...
Have you ever read for...
card reading for Atma. Yes. Well, I'm not gonna force, but I'm not gonna force. But is it possible that you do some kind of reading for Atma
Sure, I can definitely try.
now, or
I can try now.
try now? Would you like it, Atma? I mean, like
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
I
mind.
should have asked first. But
No. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. I don't know. I need to just. You have a really nice energy about you. You're very young though. I'm not sure. How old are you physically?
I'm 36.
Okay.
you
but
don't
you're-
look it.
I don't look
No,
at
you
it.
don't look it at all. But you
No.
are also. You have a very young spirit. Like it's almost like bouncy, if that makes sense. Like it's like you're running around. You're excited. You come from quite a rural area,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I don't know.
I was born in a hut in
Really?
yeah in the northern parts of Botswana. Yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And are you feel like the youngest of your family?
I'm the second born. I'm the middle child.
After your females or males?
A male.
Okay. And before you?
After me is female.
Oh, okay.
And then
I see.
before me is male.
Yeah. So
Oh, younger.
in a lot of
boys.
in a lot of what I can say African cultures is that males are considered more, I don't know, like the leader of the family. So in my brain, you are the last born because you are the last son,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do your parents still live in the rural parts?
My parents have passed.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
didn't see that coming. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
But you could say they're still there because that's where.
Did they pass there? So they lived most of their lives there.
No. My mom and dad worked for a mining company
Okay.
in Harappa, and then they basically passed away in the same area. So my
Okay.
dad, a mining accident, and my mom was murdered.
Wow.
Mm.
I'm so sorry. That is quite deep information. I'm trying to think. Like there's. Do you have a child? Daughter? Are you married?
Yes.
Are you looking at having a kid soon?
Hopefully.
Because I see a kid, I see a little girl,
Hmm.
but she'll only be, I think you'll only have one child. But she's a force to be reckoned with. She reminds me of your younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
Your younger sister's quite stubborn, but like exciting stubborn, I don't know.
Yeah.
But still somewhat old. Like, I don't know. It's almost like she feels older than you.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Olivia does that. She does a lot of mothering.
Really?
But she's, so when your parents, did they pass away when you were quite young?
I think I was 25.
Oh, that's not too bad. And how old was your sister when they passed?
She's 2 years younger than me.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite... Does she have kids?
Yeah, she has a son.
Oh, so cute. But I mean, she is, she's definitely older than you, but she's still stubborn. Like she's hard to get through to. It's almost like you have a respect for her like you would respect an elder.
Mm.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm struggling today. I don't know. Maybe I can do a reading for you at a different time.
And especially, of course, this is like a live radio,
Yeah.
setting. I'm impressed with what you did. It's I mean, I can only, well, I shouldn't limit myself, but I rely on my tarot cards to
Yeah.
do reading. It's like, I think like we all have got an ability to do reading for like any situation, any people that comes from a place of love, kindness, and compassion.
Yeah.
But I still need to rely on a tool.
Yeah.
Like the typical view of a fortune teller having a crystal ball. a crystal ball doesn't show anything physically,
Yeah.
but it is a tool to allow the individual to focus.
Yeah.
And for me, it's tarot cards. And hopefully one day I don't have to rely on tarot cards. But there is at this point, I'm still in the process of training that I wouldn't have been able to pick the most suitable message without using tarot deck as tool.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really impressed with what you pick up, not using anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because a lot of the
yeah,
information
maybe
isn't correct, so you get a little bit you feel a little bit sad.
Oh, I think it was most of it was correct.
Yeah.
So it's quite impressive. So maybe we will be doing some kind of a reading after the radio show, guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there any questions, you guys?
No, I'm pretty happy with everything that's gone.
Awesome.
And
Atma, you got any question?
No, actually. Yeah.
Alrighty, then now it's time to say goodbye. And I hope you all enjoyed the show. Today's weekly guest was Siobhan. Thank you for being here, Siobhan.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Atma, thank you. And if you have any question about the show or what was discussed today, or tarot cards or mediumship, anything, you can email to mail@kashiopia.com or your email address.
Siobhan, Siobhan, @gonzoe.co.za.
Or
just visit www.108live.net.
alrighty then. Thank you everyone, both listeners and guests. It was Interactive Tarot on 108live.radio. I am Kazway, your guide to tarot cards and holistic wellness. Tune in again next Friday at 11 a.m. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Bye.